Right, so hello everyone and welcome back to, well, another tier list, but one that I haven't done since like, I don't know, a year or when did I do the last one? Um, yeah, we just had our competitive ranking stuff, which, who cares for that? Like, right, we're here because we like Unmatched, we love Unmatched, we want to have fun. So, how much fun we have, of course, depends on what character we play. And that also means people will have different opinions in what their favorite characters are. What characters do they like to play? What characters they just want to disappear? And today, I'll give you my opinion on every single character, how much I like them. A lot of these you probably already know by watching some of my videos. Some other might surprise you, who knows? Um, just to be clear, this is only my list, and I'm known for having a couple of hot takes. Let's say that. um, so yeah, I don't know. I didn't prepare a list or something. I'm just starting this now, and let's see how it goes. Maybe I'll have to change some stuff later. I'll just start in the order that we have here, from the list. Feel free to also make your own list. I mean, you can basically see the link on top, but yeah, just go on the wonderful tier maker website, search for Unmatched, and go to the character card backs list from July 2025, and go ahead, make your own list, and yeah, see where you get. Um, enough talking. Let's just start with the first one being King Arthur, of course. Now, Arthur is a tricky one for me because I just don't really see the appeal of him, like as a character. Sure, it's cool to slap for a lot of high values, but the problem is there are just too many ways to deny him that. So I just feel like his fun factor in that case just goes down a lot more, which technically you could say for basically any D tier or lower character, right? Um, they have so big flaws that can get abused, and that of course makes them a bit less fun. But I think other characters, at least in the lower tiers, have some really like quirky mechanics that they can use at least, or do some other wild shenanigans that can be fun. Arthur, I don't know, just feels a bit bland to me. Um, you can tell it's one of the first sets or like the first set they made. So I don't know. I'd probably put him in the if I have to category. I don't really mind it, but yeah, I'd prefer not to play him most of the time. Now, and quite the opposite, at least from the power spectrum, we now have Medusa. And Medusa, of course, is known for being absolutely obnoxious. Oh, and to clarify, this list is both playing as and playing against kind of combined, because my opinions don't really differ in that. Um, yeah, I mean, people don't like Medusa because 6 discards, free ping the whole time, a gaze can exist, just 7 value second shots are insane enough. And yeah, people don't like her. I don't really care. I don't know. I feel like with time went on, there are just so many answers to Medusa now that sure she's still insanely strong and shuts down like half of the roster, but the other half is fun matchups. Like I don't mind. Even matchups where you're slightly unfavored, like the little red one. Um, it's always cool to kind of fight these uphill battles, in my opinion, to kind of somehow cheese a way through. Like I just remember a game against Kiet in one of my local tournaments here in Germany. Um, where I played as Red versus his Dusa on Sherwood, and basically won by attacking with a blank once upon. He played his, and I got to discard a knives, and thus dealt the 3 damage. And it's just so fun to find ways to squeeze in wins, and I feel like Dusa is one of the characters where it's reasonable to find those ways, and it's still fun to play against her. And in my opinion, also fun to play as her because she isn't that straightforward, in my opinion, as many people think. Like you still have to worry a bit about positioning, knowing when to defend your harpies, and yeah, when to actually go for big attacks or just like bait with a regroup to keep up pressure. So yeah, Tusa, I don't mind. Now Alice, Alice will go in my all-time faves. Alice is just I love Alice. There's nothing just as satisfying really than hitting a 9 value Mangsum foe with Alice when you're big and just slapping the opponent so hard that they cry. Oh, it's so good. Like I already like gambling with my own cards a bit, uh, which is why you see I might love a certain gamble fighter later. But yeah, Alice is just so freaking fun to me. She deals a lot of damage. She still kind of has that small mini game of changing her size, which I love fighters with mini games. You can probably know that from being from seeing that Red is my main. Um, so yeah, Alice is just cool overall. Love her. Now Sinbad. Sinbad is one where I think on my last list he was somewhere around the middle. Sinbad actually went up quite a lot because as simple as his game plan is, the same amount of fun it is, basically. Like, sure, you just maneuver and attack every turn, but you maneuver and attack every turn. I don't know, there's just some kind of appeal of like, okay, the opponent running away, and you're like, okay, but I'm next to you. And then slapping them with a 5, and then they run away again, and you're just, oh, but I'm next to you again. So then you slap them with a 6 and just keep continuing. I don't know. There's some kind of appeal in that that I just found. If I would just want to turn my brain off at some point, um, Sinbad is just a great choice, and yeah, he's cool. Yeah, now, one of the fan favorites, at least from what I know, Robin. Um, Robin is a weird one. Robin kind of seems to shift a bit on my list each time when I play as or against him. Um, because I know I at some point had him like in the middle of a pack. I also in some lists had him like in the lead, so like here the stay away tier in like the absolute bottom. I think as time went on, I think I have to settle somewhere around if I have to. I just don't really like playing Robin that much. Just poking with small stuff the whole time and not really doing anything, just I think isn't really my playstyle because like he just gets outclassed so much that there are a lot of characters that do what he does in better right now, I think. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Um, Playing against him is often also like kind of this 50-50 of either it's way too easy because he dies over his 3 value defenses, or it's insanely obnoxious doing him putting 6 1 health sidekicks in a way that ignore your values. And yeah, sure, the mind game is fun, and I usually like mind games, but I don't know, having this 50-50 of either it's a full steamroll on him or you just die to obnoxious mind games, I don't know. I don't really dislike it that much, but it's like I also basically never see a reason wanting to play Robin. And now, same set, Bigfoot. Um, yeah, this one has to be the first stay away. Whereas like the usual maneuver attack on Sinbad kind of felt appealing to me, that like simple characteristics. Bigfoot is a bit too much. I feel like I would enjoy Bigfoot if he wasn't that insanely strong. Like if he wasn't that power crept. Um, because basically, like, what does he do in a game? He maneuvers and hits you for big values. He sends Jack in with pre-auto damage and hits you for big values. He defends big. He has 5 cancels, so you either like defend with a cancel or a 4. That's like the only decisions you have to do with that. And then when you have a log, you attack with a log, and if you don't have a log, well, you throw, I don't know, the next best 4 or 5 that you have. The most interesting part about him is his ability, but I feel like in many matchups it just doesn't get used enough where it's interesting enough for me to put him higher. And whenever I play against Bigfoot, it's just such a boring game. It's so boring each time. I don't know. I don't really like these usual big, strong Unga Bunga characters that much, as you'll see. But for different reasons, and Bigfoot is just, I don't know. He just feels a bit too linear to me, and whereas Sinbad at least has some niche uses in how to play linear, Bigfoot just plays almost the same game each time in any matchup, at least from what I feel like. And is always insanely strong with that, no matter what happens, and that just feels boring. Now, next up, Muldoon. Well, I just talked about Robin being annoying with 6 1-health sidekicks, so surely Muldoon has to be in Stay Away. Nope, he's one of the goats. I don't know what it is, but Muldoon is just like he's a headache to play as and against. I'll give him that, but I like headaches. I don't know. Um, Having to constantly worry about your positioning 110% is just kind of intriguing to me. And sure, he shuts down basically all melee fighters. Sure, happens, but um, I feel like in the matchups where he is played normally, it's just like really fun thinking about it. Like one of my favorites is like the She-Hulk matchup. It's so interesting from both sides. And that's also what I'm grading this for, because sure, every character has some kind of matchups where they just steamroll the opponent, but like the matchups that you'll usually play are the ones that are even-ish, let's say, and that's what I'm grading this on. And in that case, Muldoon is just insanely fun. Sure, if you play as Achilles against Muldoon on a move 5 map or something, yeah, sure, have fun. You won't have fun. But I don't know. Like at that point, I think you did something wrong before, so yeah, won't blame Muldoon for that. So yeah, Muldoon is just cool. The positioning aspect is just fun, and I love it. Now, Raptors. Raptors. Actually, where did it go? I don't know. I think it was somewhere between Gladly Play and Sure Why Not. I don't know. There's some. I'll put them here for now because I don't think they're on the same category as Dusa because I feel like they're a bit more fun to play as, although it'll be less fun to play against. Thing about Raptors, of course, is like, okay, sure, if you play as them and you get that insane action gain turn, yeah, you will have fun. Like, there's nothing unfun about that. Um, but on the same point, if you play against them, you don't really have the tools for that. It can be rough. But at the same time, when I remember like my big Raptors games that just like I keep in mind the whole time. I think to I don't know my game against Ema or Scaff from Summer of Legends last year. That just felt very dynamic and explosive, and I guess that's kind of fun for me. If a match can just turn in like a millisecond, whereas okay, sure, maybe they blast you down in one turn, but then they don't have defenses and 2 Raptors instantly die or whatever. And it's just always this fun back and forth with Raptors. Um, And yeah, I think I'm happy where they are. They're like not one of my favorites that when someone asks me, yeah, sure, pick any fighter, go with what you want. I'll just go ahead and pick Raptors. I don't think that will ever happen. But I definitely see the appeal of them. Now, Drak. Drak is a tricky one. I think last time I had him somewhere around here, and I think I kind of still keep with that. Problem is just my recent experience with Drek wasn't that great. Although it was great, but also kind of not. I don't know, Drek's kind of like this 50-50. When you get the good deck order and can actually play your game, I think Drek is kind of like somewhere around here for me. My all-time favorites, like knowing when to set up and how to set up Beast from Lethals is just so insanely fun for me. Um, and also playing around it when he's your opponent. But at the same time, when you have a game like I don't know I had against Ninja Segon's Raptors in Cobble and Frogs, where I don't see any of my ambushes and both beast forms are buried in bottom 6. Yeah, you feel like a sitting duck the whole game. And at that point, he's somewhere around here. But I think like overall in the middle, he's still one of my favorites that I gladly pick up if I just feel like it. Um, and I don't think that would change that much. Now, Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde, I don't know, for me, if I'm playing against like new, like no matter who I play against, it just feels bad. Because against newer players, well, they don't really know how to play against the character, and then forever hide and stuff feels insanely broken. And then it's just unfun for me. Sure, it might be fun to absolutely nuke them, but in that case, I could just play any other character and play series, and probably still do the same thing. When I play against experienced players, then yeah, sure, I can't do anything. It's not like I really want to avoid them. It's just that man, why should I? Like, why should I ever go and pick Jekyll and Hyde in any match? Sure, free for all might be a version where you can play them, but at the same time, again, like, I don't know, it just depends a lot on your free for all politics, I guess, with who you're playing. And yeah, I think I will never see a reason to play Jekyll and Hyde. Now, kind of similar thing, I think, goes for Invisible Man. Just that Invisible Man, I feel like has a bit more interesting mechanics to me. Um, I feel like he's a bit better around and at least stood up and didn't get power creeped as much, or at least he doesn't have that much of a crucial flaw in his deck. So he's actually one of my more so go-to picks when I play against newer players because if they at least already know the basics of the game, Invisible Man is kind of this character where I can give them Siri or whatever, and yeah, they'll usually win, but at least they'll struggle a bit. So I think I'll put him in sure, why not? Um, it's not a character that I'll always go for, but if I have to play them or if anyone wants me to play him, I'll say, yeah, why not? Exactly what the tier says. And now, last of the Cobble and Fox set, we have Sherlock. Yeah, I mean, basically everyone will probably have Sherlock and Stay Away, and I absolutely disagree. I don't know. Um, I never really felt the hate from Sherlock, like even playing against him. I don't really get it that much. Sure, it feels bad getting five of your cards discarded, basically at choice, and not being able to do a lot about it. Um, but I don't feel like that's like the biggest issue because at least while you had the cards in hand, you might have been able to play them before or whatever. Like it's not as insane as some other character that just gets rid of cards you never got the chance of to playing. But yeah, I don't know. I like Sherlock. I like playing as Sherlock. I like playing against Sherlock. I don't mind him at all, especially since he got like insane hard counters now with newer fighters. Like especially when like we played some of Legends and Sherlock was like in the total draft pool. It was always like fun thinking of strategies to leave him in, and give him to the opponent. And I just like that. So yeah, I don't mind Sherlock. Now, Buffy said, I think I'll do them all together, kinda. Angel and Spike will both have to go in Police Stones for the same reason as Jekyll and Hyde. Um, just that I think at least if you play them against also lower tier characters, they're a bit more fun than Jekyll and Hyde because against those Jekyll and Hyde can be a bit dominating, and it feels bad again. Buffy and Willow are a bit different, I think. Um, Buffy will probably go in the sure why not for me, just because like playing her against I don't know something like Robin or Muldoon can actually be quite fun because you can move through their sidekicks the whole time and actually do something against their game plan. Um, and that's kind of fun. Just like the 9 body blocks is always kind of fun for me. Um, and her overall like kit being able to choose what cards you want, basically depending on what sidekick you get, which is cool overall to me. It's nothing I really absolutely love or anything because well they kinda did the thing better with Geralt later, but also kind of not. Um, but yeah, it's okay. But one that probably actually even goes in gladly play will be Willow. I don't know. Willow in like low tier matchups is just so fun. Like, especially, have you ever played Willow versus Squirrel Girl? That one is, I love it. It's so fun. Um, and I already said it a couple of times. Buffy set is, in my opinion, the best set for new players if they just want to start with Unmatched. And reason for that is basically, yeah, the characters just feel so chill against each other. They're not too highly complicated. You have like a draw beast with Angel. You have body blocking, denying Buffy, who can just be a jack of all trades. You have Willow, who can slap very high, but also at the cost of her cards. And Spike, well, Spike exists, and newer players don't know how to play around Shadow Token. So at that point, he's also quite scary. And their abilities are intriguing, but still like so basic that they're just perfect to pick up. So yeah, I think I just like them overall. Um, just that, yeah, the other two below are not really usable in any way. And now, I mean, do I have to say anything about this? I should have made it tier for her herself. Like, Red is my main. She will stay my main. She is the most fun, the best designed character in all of Unmatched. I will die on that hill. Um, there's so many things you can do in each game. So many different win cons, so many tricks you have, so many different ways to play her depending on what you have in hand and what you don't have and what your opponent already played. And I don't know, just playing that little puzzle game will just always be fun to me because even in matchups that usually get played the same, whereas other characters can usually just do their thing the whole time and play the same way, Red always does something else depending on what she has. And that's what I love. Like replayability and like playing characters in different ways is what I like the most, I think, in Unmatched. So yeah, Red is peak, and she will forever be. Now, Bayo. Bayo will probably go if I have to. I don't know. Um, he's a bit too basic for me, I'd say. The whole thing with Rage, I feel like was a good idea, but didn't really got fleshed out that much until they got to Tesla. I don't know, Tesla just feels like a cooler version of Bayo for me. Because Bayo technically wants to be aggressive due to his low amount of blocks and decent-ish card draw and, well, loads amount of reds. He has a lot of health, so he can tank a bit of stuff. Grendel is just hella scary, but I feel like overall, I think there are just not enough cards that interact with his ability in a fun way. You have Heirloom that you can spend Rage to increase value. Okay, you have Poem that basically gets you Rage and thus increases value based on Rage. You have the print one. What was it? Damn, I forgot the name. Ah, you know what I mean. The print one versatile. Um, that well, you can spend Rage to increase value. Um, cool. And then yeah, there's Grendel, but basically everything else is just okay. More Rage, higher value. Meh. I don't know. Missed opportunity. So yeah, he exists. That's what I have to say. Now Deadpool is weird. Like Deadpool could kind of fit in any of these tiers, to be honest. Deadpool's, I don't know, he should, he belongs everywhere. Um, I guess overall middle in here. I mean, each Deadpool game is insanely stupid and very fun, but at the same time, you're not really playing Unmatched at that point. So I don't know, any Deadpool game just feels a bit off. But I guess that's the appeal of him, and that's the purpose of his deck. But yeah, I love Unmatched for what it is and not for a 31 copy card character that you cannot predict at all. I don't know. It's fun, but only like once every 3 months. And now, ah, wonderful. Yeah, I know, another hot take. I absolutely despise Achilles. uh, I don't know. For me, most of the reason why I despise him is Pat. Pat is just the most annoying piece of that I can think of. In any matchup when you play against Achilles, as long as Pat is alive, he will be so annoying the whole time, standing in your way, not making you able to play your game as you want to. And then when you actually get to Achilles, well, he plays a helmet, swaps, and Pat is in your face again. Cool. Sure, you can bait it out, but doesn't change that Pat is in your face again. You'll have to spend another whole amount of resources to get to Achilles again. And then when you, well, at some point, can't bear it anymore and somehow Pat dies, because he will die, then you have a maniac coming at you with 6 after 6 after 6 after 6 and always drawing cards, and at that point it's just survive. So I don't know. Many people say it's like a very dynamic gameplay of thinking about when to kill Pat, but I definitely disagree on that. Like in almost any matchup, it's very clear what each player wants with Pat, and it's not much about playing around it. Achilles basically almost always wants him to instantly die, and you basically almost always want him to stay alive the whole time. So I don't feel like it's a gimmick and more of, okay, who has luck drawing their cards? Like, if Achilles gets all of his pet cards early, well, even if you feint 3 times, not much you can do. If you don't get your feints, yeah, cool, he will die instantly. If you get your feints, sure, you can delay it a bit, but yeah, he will still die at, like, I don't know, the 15 card count index. So, I don't know. Achilles games never feel dynamic and just very linear and annoying for me. So yeah, don't like him. Please just go away. And yeah, Mary actually, I found a bit of love for Mary, even though she kind of ruined my whole Spring Showdown tournament. But yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, I don't know. Mary's cool. Like playing about that 3 card fan size is just fun. I don't know. She's very aggressive, but like the fair aggressive. Sure, it can suck when the opponent just feints your third action again, but I mean, then you have like jump scares or double attacks to throw at them. So, yeah, it's fine. I don't know. Overall, Mary's just cool. She just rose up on my tier list each time I play her, and I think she might keep rising and even go to my all-time favorites because she's so fun. But one that definitely goes in my all-time favorites is Wukong. Yep, I told you it would be hot takes. Um, yeah, Wukong is just also peak design for me, unmatched wise. There's like so many mind games you have and so many cool ways to mess with them. Um, I don't know. Wukong is just insanely fun. Sure, you have the sidekick wall, but to be honest, like, who of the actual played fighters now actually cares about the sidekick wall? Sinbad does, sure. Muldoon does, yeah, maybe. Um, Moon Knight does. Achilles and Bigfoot do, but I don't care because they can suffer. It's totally fine. Who else? Mm, Aradin, but you'll see he also deserves it, but that's kind of it. So basically, all Wukong matchups that we play now are the fun Wukong matchups. And matchups where Wukong doesn't just wall up because that's usually the wrong thing to do in any matchup with Wukong, at least from my experience. You have to be aggressive and just keep slapping 7 and Jingabong and taunting and 7 and whatever and mind game them the whole time, and I love mind games. So whenever I play as Wukong, it's very fun, and when I play against Wukong, it's also very fun, and it always feels fair. So yeah, I don't know why people hate him so much. I mean, I know it, but I don't know it. um, Yen. Hmm. I think Yen dropped a bit. I don't think I love her as much as I did before. She's still a very solid option. I just like when like in family we just, I don't know, my dad wants to play some character and just have like an overall fine chance into someone. Like my go-to option is Yen, technically, because Yen is just kind of even with everyone. So this when you don't know what to pick Yen, and it's always fine. And she just feels so fair because I don't know, she has all of these kind of basic-ish cards that don't feel too flashy on their own, but are just a slight bit better than yours. And just over time will add up and add up and add up, and thus she gets a slight bit of value increase, but it's just like one mistake and you lose. So I just like playing Yen. Um, she dropped a bit just because, yeah, it's cool playing her, but it's not necessarily that insane amount of dopamine fun that I get when I play my all-time favorites, but she's still great. Now, one character that is not great to play as or play against is Ghost Rider. I don't know. I'll probably put him if I have to. He's a bit annoying with just his constant rooming. Um, the matchups where he doesn't just non-stop room, like Golden Bat, for example, are actually quite good and fun. I don't mind him there, but sadly, that's not too many. Um, because the matchups where he is played much is, well, the matchups where his room does a lot. So, I don't know. I mean, technically, going for a big blaze and nuking yourself is fun. I'll give him that. But actually getting to that point is very hard. Like, usually people won't even let you do it, or if you're at that point where you could technically do it, they'll cancel or play some movement effect or whatever. I don't know. Just doesn't feel like the character for me. And again, the resource management is like what you have for options, what you can do with your Hellfire. You can room, you can draw, you can move. Okay, kinda it. You can, yeah, you can increase value. I forgot. I don't know. Just don't really like him that much. Now, woohoo! I think you'll see a pattern in the stay away tier, right? Yeah, Luke, just please delete him ASAP. He's so boring and annoying on top of that. Like any Luke game is just okay, has he trash talk or does he not have trash talk? Guess we'll find out. Either I lose or he takes I don't know, 6 undefended damage. Who cares? Yeah, I don't know. Luke for me is just too linear and not much you can do about it. You just have to rely on him not drawing good, basically, to win. And that's, I mean, he often does not draw and thus you win, but it never feels earned. Like when you play as, I don't know, whatever, Tesla against Luke, or just a matchup that doesn't feel good in any way. Is Luke favored? He will trash talk you and just slap you for 6 after 5 after 6, and yeah, it just doesn't feel great. But then when you actually counterattack and if he doesn't defend, sure, it feels good at that point, but you also know, like, yeah, it wasn't your skill that actually won you the game, but him not drawing good. And it just feels bad. And I don't know, Trash Talk just overall is just such an annoying card. Just bleh. I mean, I love end the turn effects, but not in this way on the 4 value cancel. Please don't. And now Moon Knight. As you know, Moon Knight is also, or was one of my all-time favorites. I think similar as Lian, he dropped a slight bit. I still really like to play him just playing around his forms and optimizing his playstyle and his cycle. It's just really cool. But there is just some newer characters that I just get more dopamine off when I play them. Whereas Moon Knight kind of like Yen feels like this consistent value over time fighter where you just, okay, optimize everything and then you'll get some cool stuff over time. Whereas I probably prefer like these one big dopamine kicks that I get from other fighters, like I don't know, hitting an Ox with Wukong, or hitting a 9-value Mangsum with Alice, or destroying your opponent's sanity with Engine. That just I don't know. I just like that more. Um, Daredevil. Daredevil will probably go and gladly play. I don't know. I don't really mind Daredevil, and I actually quite like his overall idea. It's just that his matchups have become way too swingy. Like before, I think I had him like in love them. So yeah, I really like Daredevil where he was before like Witcher and stuff got released. Because at that point, I think he felt a bit more fair. Whereas at this point, he's just like, well, this constant menace that will just always be that swingy. And it's again often the type of Luke matchup where you're sure you won because of his bad draw. Meh. I don't know. He's still cool and I like him. I like to play as or against him. Even in the matchups where, yeah, you don't really like to play against him, but it feels good overall. I don't know. He's okay. He exists, but on the good side. Well, I don't mind him. And now Electra, next big three. Will this be another Sherlock situation where I gladly play as or against her? Nah. I think she's a bit more obnoxious than Sherlock, but not much. I don't know. She's kind of like on the same tier as Medusa for me in that case. Where sure, she's annoying, and with a lot of sidekicks, you can't really do much about it, but at the same time, we have a couple of answers now. And yeah, Electra matchups where we do play, they are kind of fun, I'd say. And I do like that. And playing as Electra is also kind of cool because in the matchups where she actually goes through the draft and you actually play her, usually you don't go for that long fatigue win because, well, the opponent basically picked their fighter to counter that. Like if you're playing against Daredevil or Shulk or whatever. Um, so then it actually becomes an interesting game of what to save for revive combo and when to save it and when to actually go for it. Maybe we go for a 6 to kill yourself to deal that bit of damage before you go back and whatever. It's just interesting. At least a bit more interesting than like the lower fighters on the list. Now, Bullseye. Uh, I don't know. I'm also not as big of a fan of Bullseye, I guess, just like with Robin. Mm, it's kind of the same, actually, where either he just dies due to high value attacks, and yeah, then he only has 3 value defenses, and not much you can do about it, or you pressure the opponent so much that they can't do much about it, and yeah, I don't know, he's like this in the same position as Robin for me. Just that Robin has that psychic wall, whereas Bullseye has that explosive pressure each turn. So yeah, I guess that's kind of all I have to say about him. Not much I feel in both positive or negative. He just exists, and I have if I have to, I play him, but I'd never go out of my way and say, yeah, let me play Bullseye. Meh. And now a whole set that will go here is T-Rex and Settler. Um, blah. Talk about one-dimensional, insanely boring, unfun, no gimmicks, not much you can do about it, and you always play the same against them. That's T-Rex and Settler for you. Whereas with Settler, you just kite her each turn and play fatigue each turn, and that exists. Against T-Rex, you run away each turn, or just, if you can, draw too much and then kill her. There's not much else. And in most cases, you're just running away and surviving, which a lot of characters can do. It's just not fun. And playing as them is kind of the same. As Rex, you always do the same thing. You rush them down, which can be fun the first 2 or 3 times because you feel so strong, but then, I mean, kind of every matchup starts feeling the same. And that's not what I like. So, yeah. There's just, there are just flaws on these characters. They shouldn't exist in that way. And the next one that goes there is Houdini. God, do I hate Houdini. I don't know, just I remember when I played as Jill versus Houdini in a ladder game, um, and we were on Raptor Paddock. Houdini went first, and I think I had only a stasis diffuser and caught red-handed in hand after the mulligan. So he maneuvered, set the stage, got rid of my stasis, and yeah, basically got me down to 1 health turn one, and then just kept maneuvering until he found misdirection and I died. Turn three. Fun. I don't know. I think no character should be able to just win turn one instantly without your opponent being able to do anything about it. Or just, to be honest, win at any time without your opponent being able to do anything about it. Sure, you could say, okay, have a high hand size and have a lot of defenses. Well, how should you if he just keeps like boosting big high value attacks at you? Good luck. I don't know. Houdini is the definition of absolutely stupid for me. And yeah, he will stay there. Now, basically, the exact opposite for that is the Genie. Genie is always very fun to play as and against. Sure, he's, again, similar to Muldoon, a bit of a headache, but yeah, it's a fun headache. Knowing when to actually use your wishes or plan around Genie having wishes is just cool. It's just that I think there are a bit too many micro decisions for him for me to say, okay, I really like to play him. Whereas Muldoon, okay, yeah, I at least know, okay, well, it's mostly about positioning, and that's it. So I can focus on that. With Genie, it's basically about every single thing you can do. And that is often a bit too much for me to say, yeah, let's go Genie. But I still gladly play him. Like, he's cool. Teen Spirit. This is this is a weird one. Let's see. Miss Marvel will probably go in sure, why not? Yeah, I think that fits quite well. Yeah. Miss Marvel is kind of fun. She has a lot of mobility. She can slap from 2 spaces away. She has a lot of cool effects, and you play around the zone mechanic a lot. So that's fun. Playing that kind of mini game with your opponent in regards to positioning is just that. Um, I feel she relies on it a bit too much, whereas there's not much you can do if you don't have the right zone stuff right now. I feel like she should have like 1 or 2 tricks up her sleeve to deal with that, and it could be cooler, like some kind of way, I don't know, to mess with the opponent's positioning a bit more on your turn. Like, I don't know, something like a remote control would be so cool on her. I know it's absolutely not lore accurate, but I just feel like if she had that, it would be way more fun. But she's cool overall. Not much I have to say. And now Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is cool. I mean, Cloak and Dagger is kind of like the Raptors, just like they're a bit more niche, but it then also feels way better when you actually pull it off. Like there was nothing more hype than actually seeing Ninja Seigun win with Cloak and Dagger twice at Cowboy and Fox in Frogs in I think it was, I don't know, the quarterfinals against Big Mike, and then the semis versus Glebs, and both wins were just insane hype, and it's just cool. Like I also remember playing against Mammert's Cloak and Dagger on ladder with red, and oh boy, if you play against good Cloak and Dagger players on like Raptor Paddock or Hanging Gardens, oh boy, you're in for a tough ride. And it's just really fun, like playing around their dynamics and playing as them, to be honest. So yeah, I feel like they're a bit too fragile and can be dealt with a bit too easily to actually have them like in top for my favorites. But fun wise, they're still cool. Like I like them. As Squirrel go, I'll probably go with here. Mm, she's a bit too gimmicky. Like there's nothing as hilarious as basically winning against, I don't know, the big sorcerer supreme with squirrels. I know that will never happen, but technically, if it does ever happen, because I don't know, he doesn't have defenses and takes a 9 value, kick butts to the face and dies. There will never be something as hilarious as that. But yeah, Squirrel Girl is just she's a bit too gimmicky. Like the flavor text on her cards is very fun, but these scrolls can get a bit annoying and overwhelming, and actually remembering where you actually had them for positioning is a pain. But she's cool overall. Just lost the appeal on her, I think, over time, regarding to wanting to play her. T-Spirit is still one of my favorite sets overall, fun-wise, but I think she'll stay here for now. Uh, yeah, I don't think I have to talk about this one. I already teased it before. Black Panther is the worst character that got ever made. I will also die on that hill. Um, just delete him ASAP. He should be permaban from any tournament just to keep the fun level high. Like, sure, the other characters there in Stay Away are war crimes on their own, but Panther is on another different level. Like, I don't care. You can keep all the big three open, just permaban Panther at each tournament, and I'm happy. Oh, I just hate him so much. Losing upwards of like 6 to 10 cards in a game and not being able to do anything with them is just bonkers. Like, I play the game to play my cool cards from the cool character that I like. And sure, usual normal discards or random discards or even chosen discards also deny me to do that, but at that point I already had the cards in my hand and I don't know, maybe had the chance to boost them away or attack with them or do something else. Whereas with Panther, yeah, he just steals from the top of my deck and there's nothing I can do. Sure, I can try to feint his effects and stuff, but at that point it's just like, okay, do I have the feints? Yes, okay, he doesn't do anything. Do I not have feints? Okay, cool, I lose my cool cards and can't play the game. Fun. Yeah, I don't know. Just delete him ASAP. He's the worst character ever made. Get rid of him. Widow. Uh, Widow will probably go here. Widow is cool. Sadly, she got power crept a lot. And she dies to basically almost everyone now. But Widow is still so fun to play. Like, playing around her schemes. Um, Knowing when to actually swap between her and Maria. And yeah, it's just overall a fun way of playing the whole time. She just feels fair. I feel like she's the fun version of a lot of discards and a lot of pressure. Because there's always something you can do about it. And it just feels good. I don't know, Widow's cool. One character, however, that is not cool is Winter Soldier. Where do I put him? Stay away or please don't. I think I put him in please don't. Stay away would be a bit too rude because at least Winter Soldier can be fun if you have a good draw and go for a lot of sixes and kill the opponent. But overall, yeah, he's way too inconsistent for me to ever have fun with him. You always feel bad playing him. And you always feel bad playing against him because either he just doesn't do anything because yeah he doesn't have defenses or just runs the whole time because he's scared and you feel bad for the guy, or he finds everything and then you can't do anything. There's no real in between in Winter Soldier games, at least from my experience. So yeah, I don't know. In the cool games where there can be a bit of a back and forth, it can be fun, but that's like 1 out of 100 games. So yeah, please don't. Now, Strange. Strange is a hard one. I think I'll put him in Gladly Play. Because Strange, at least, I feel like, is the most fair out of the big three. I think everyone agrees on that. He has a lot more counters than them, and there's a lot more counterplay to him. Now, that doesn't mean that in the matchups where he does his thing, he is insanely obnoxious. He definitely is, and I think I dislike his fatigue pass game more than Sherlock's, just due to him getting more cards the whole time and poking at you from ranged. Where Sherlock, I don't know, feels like he can crumble a bit more. But in the matchups where Strange can't do that, he's actually fun because often he has the spam ability or at least use it a lot and then he takes damage and you have to know when to use it to draw cards and which card. Often he even wants to blind boost to keep cards up or action chain you or whatever. And just feels a bit more dynamic. Yeah, I just like Strange overall. Like it can be a bit worse playing against him, but it can also be way more fun playing against or as him. So yeah, I think he'll stay in that same category. Now this is definitely an all-time favorite. And no, I'm not joking. Shulk is peak. I know, hot takes. Yeah, She-Hulk is for me one of the best characters they ever made. Like, out of the top. I love everything about her. The ability seems insanely stupid, but it's only if you play her wrong. Like, if you always go for just discard to deal damage, sure, that's a way to play She-Hulk. It's an insanely unfun way to play She-Hulk, but at that point you'll lose. So I don't care. How I feel like She-Hulk should be played is playing a bit of an aggressive brawl. You can go in, slap them with 4s and 5s, maybe like a 4 value cancel. You have a cool amount of mind games, and you know I love mind games. But there's enough counterplay to it. And then when you stand in their face, you're saying like, okay, come hit me. And then either you'll stay in place due to a nerf cluster, or I'll discard the top card of your deck with Lady Justice. But then the opponent has the option to offensive feint Lady Justice, which is one of the most satisfying things I ever did. Like, especially if you're on a +2 characters. Like, if you play the Moon Knight She-Hulk matchup, attacking with offensive feint as Khonshu into She-Hulk is, oh, it's juicy. Let me tell you that. It's juicy. And yeah, it just always feels fun playing as and against her because you have so many different options each time. And I love mind games, so let's go for it. Now, Spider-Man is a please don't for me. I don't know. He's a bit too linear for my point. The ability just basically doesn't exist, and it takes away a lot from what I love about Unmatched, which is guessing what the opponent will play and playing around that. I don't know. I just feel like taking that away just robs me of a lot of fun. Um, sure, it's in character kinda, and he is still Spider-Man and he's cool, but playing as or against him is just always meh. I don't know. I don't know how to better describe it as other than that. He just takes away one of my favorite things in Unmatched, and I don't like that. Like he's not that big of a war crime that I just want him to be deleted, but I just wished he was cooler. Now, one character that kind of also fits the description is Annie. Mm, Annie also kind of just exists, and I just always feel bad when playing as or against her. Because, yeah, I mean, you just bully Charlie in the early game, don't let her get her ability. And then at some point she won't have damage, or yeah, there's not much you can do, but then she'll then yap you with 3/7s and then 6 auto, and yeah, cool. I don't know. I like many people say playing Annie is dynamic, but I just don't agree on that. I don't know. Maybe it's just also because I played against Annie too much because she's the favorite fighter of my father whenever I go over there and just say, yeah, want to have a fun little small game of Unmatched on a weekend. He'll say, sure, give me Annie, give me Annie. So I don't know, maybe I've played against her too often and just got bored of playing against her. I don't know. All of the games against her just feel so long and unsatisfying because you don't get to do your cool stuff because you can't really attack her. She doesn't really get to do her cool stuff because she can't attack big if you don't attack her. And yeah, it's just this constant cycle of not doing what you want to do with your character, and it just sucks. I don't know. Like, it's not a war crime, but it's just unfun. Now, a character that is a war crime is Golden Bat. Ah, he's so annoying. Like, Golden Bat, I still cannot believe how people hate on She-Hulk but like Golden Bat. Like, people who do that just, I can't believe it. Because Golden Bat has everything I like about She-Hulk, just in 10 times more stupid, and thus I don't like it. Like, what does Shulk have? She has technically a 9 value attack first action, or a random discard. Let's say that. What does Bat have? Um, a 7 value attack and a random discard. Okay, what does Shulk have for counterplay? Okay, you can feint the 9 or value block the random discard. What can you do against Bat? Hmm, kinda nothing. Cool. What does Shulk have for defenses? Um, usual print 4. Okay. Lady Justice, which can be very annoying. Um, and then just kind of threes and twos. What can you do about it? Well, you can offensive feint Lady Justice. You can win combat over green energy. There's a lot you can do. What does G-Bat have? Um, 5, 4, and then nothing else. So it's just big value and cool. Hmm, not much play to that. So that would be already bad enough. But then he also has one of the most broken value games I've ever seen. Like, he moves around so much on the board and makes you boost basically every turn. So you lose cards. And then your cards don't really do anything against him because he has 18 health and pretty good defenses. And whenever I play against Goldmat, he seems to draw them all. And then he slaps you back for 7 and then runs away again. Fun game loop. Whereas with Shulk, at least there's like this cool little dynamic of mini games each time when you have an interaction with her. With Bat, it's just okay, big value, unga bunga. Cool. I don't know. I'll never get the appeal of playing Azor against Bat. He is just so boring to me. Now one character that isn't boring is Jill. Jill is cool. Jill is kind of for me like the melee version of Yanenga, where it's like this long game where okay, you don't really have anything much better than the opponent, but over time it will just add up that slight bit of damage or healing that you get, or that one extra card. At some point, it's just fun. The play around Daisy, if you actually want to go for her, or just pressure Jill is fun. Playing as her and managing her gadget is cool. Knowing what to recur with the scheme is cool, and she's just overall, she's basically the melee and Enga, and I love it. Like the same reasons I like Yen, I like Jill. Now Tesla. Oh yeah, Tesla is cool. Tesla is one of my all-time favorites. Like playing Tesla is just so fun each time. Mulligan for experimentation. Draw 3, turn 2. Have fun. That's how you play Tesla, and I will die on that hill. No matter which matchup, there's not a single matchup where you play value or fatigue Tesla or whatever. You always go unga bunga, and it's fun. Um, and there's so much counterplay. Like playing around his coils, you always have so many different decisions to make, and it's just cool. Like Tesla is what Bayo could have been, or what Ghost Rider could have been with the resource management stuff. And it's just so much cooler. Like Tesla is one of the peak designs in Unmatched. Kind of similar to Red, where you just always play a different game and have different win cons because all of your cards are so strong and can do stuff, and it's just cool. And yeah, let's keep up greatness. Tomoe is also peak design. Sure, you suffer a bit against sidekick characters, but yeah, you still have tools for that. Sometimes you just throw a 7 at them and it's cool. Just the concept of here, I slap you with the 7. Have fun. Will just always be funny for me. Um, no mind game, just here, big value. Do something about it. But at least the opponent knows and has counterplay for it, and the rest of her kit is balanced around it. The mind game with Confront is cool. Overall positioning around her ability is fun. Knowing when to counter pressure is cool, and yeah, she's just peak. I don't know what to say. Now one character that isn't peak is Oda. Oda just feels bad to play each time. You either gas out instantly because your guards die, or you gas out in like, I don't know, 5 turns because then your guards die, and there's not much in between. I don't know. Oda just doesn't click with me. I feel like the flanking mechanic was a cool idea overall, but I feel like he should have had a bit more movement effects, or at least been a move 3 character to actually work around that well. Because as it is right now, you rarely get it, and when you get it, well, your honor guards will just die. And yeah, I don't know. Not much I can say. I'm also not that big of a 2v2 enjoyer, so I can't say much about that. Um, how Oda is there, I guess he could be very annoying, but also very fun depending on the combinations that you do. But again, I don't play 2v2, so can't say a lot about it. Now, Mr. Shake will probably go in if I have to. I don't really despise him at the start. Actually, when Stings and Arrows came out, I actually really liked Shakespeare, but the more time has gone on, the more I just feel like, yeah, well, I don't know. His line just feels a bit too wacky for me, whereas, okay, you technically have a lot of options, but actually you don't. Kind of forces you into certain playstyles. There are definitely some cards that you want to trigger more than others, whereas where most of these fighters like Red, like Tesla, that have so many different strong effects to go for, basically all of them are somewhat viable, but yeah, I don't know. With Shake, it's basically horse horror, alas. Sometimes breach. That's it. And yeah, I don't know. Doesn't click for me that much. Now, Hamlet. Hamlet will go also if I have to probably. I don't know. Like his decisions between be or not to be technically is fun, but in practice it just feels bad each time. Kinda. Um, yeah. It's just how do you hurt yourself? But at some point it can be fun to actually figure out like, yeah, okay, what do I go for now? What's the least worst option? And then go for that and capitalize on it. So he's okay. If I have to, I'll play him. It's just not one of my faves. One that actually did go up to one of my favorites though is Titania. Titania has grown on me so much. Like, it's insane. I don't even know where I had her last time, if she even was on the list last time, but she was so low. I definitely know that. My opinion on her just grew so much. Now that I actually played her a bit more and actually got the feels for her, just going with the flow of her glamours is just so fun. Like each time. I played Titania also a lot at Cowboy and Frogs, and she never disappointed me. Got a great win with her against Widow, and it was just cool. Got a cool win against Alice, and it was fun. Like any Titania game is fun. Sure, she can do the scummy sleepwalk, but to be honest, if she could do that, you did something wrong, in my opinion. Usually, at least. Like there are almost no games where she can just guaranteed sleepwalk at the end without having to work a lot for it. And at that point, I think it's deserved. So, yeah, Titania is cool. Love her. Sisters are a sure, why not? Like, they're a bit too complicated for my part, I feel like. Again, kind of similar with Genie, where there are just too many micro decisions each game. And one thing that I actually really dislike about them is the amount of blues and schemes they have. Haha, is it annoying? Like, what is it? They have like 10 or so cards that you cannot attack with, which is, oh, it feels so bad. Especially on such an aggressive fighter like Sisters. If you're playing like more value approached game or a bit more of a long game, yeah, okay, it's fine. But if you want to be aggressive and attack a lot, it just hurts. So yeah, Sisters can be fun, but they're not like on my priority list at any way. And now we'll get into the newer stuff. Although actually, well, Bruce is one of the older, so let's do Bruce before we jump into the new ones. Um, Bruce will, oops, not there. Bruce will go in the same tier as Raptors and Cloak and Dagger for also kind of like the same reasons. G chains are cool. Playing around Be Like Water is cool. Knowing when to recur what G'd. I mean, usually you go for discard or cancel, but sometimes you go for shift or even deal damage to get confirmed lethal, or draw if you want to keep up with someone or whatever. Like, it can be fun. Um, and there's still the point of, yeah, okay, he can be slapped back a bit more. He has a bit too many shenanigans with like one-off cards, but it's fun. It's okay. It's like the one-off cards are not that important except for like one-inch punch in certain matchups. But overall, it doesn't feel like that insanely important if you have like Bring It On or not. So I don't really mind it. Bruce is cool. And now we'll get into the new fighters. Woohoo. Yeah, Geralt. Geralt will probably go in the sure, why not? Like, Geralt exists. He's cool. Sadly, the choice that you make at the start is not much of a choice. That's the only thing I have to critique on him. Like, if you had more valid options there, it would be way cooler, actually thinking about it, what to pick in each matchup. But sadly, you basically always go for Tawny Oil for his schemes. You basically always go for Action Gain Sword. And then the only real choice you have is the armor. Although I tend to basically always go for End the Turn now when I play Geralt. So yeah, I don't know. It feels like he just has his 30 card deck without an ability. And his deck is still okay. Like I said, usual Unga Bunga slap type, but at least you have some kind of combo stuff in there with the action gain sword, and end the turn is cool. And it's not as like stupid as like Bigfoot, where you can't really do much about it because each time like his most of his damage budget is actually on his versatile. So if you attack him enough, um, he can like damage, whereas Bigfoot just smacks you back with his reds and just the still defense great. So yeah, I feel like Geralt is a missed opportunity still, but he is cool overall. I don't mind him. Now, one fighter that I definitely do mind is Eridan. I don't know. Eridan will probably go into Please Don't. He's not on the point of stay away yet. Yet, I have to say yet, because he might get there at some point. Uh, the like people say he's a more dumbed down version of Achilles, which technically he is, yes, but he's also like a less annoying version of Achilles, which is why I give him the slight edge. Sure, he's that usual, okay, you instantly kill the psychics and then Unga Bunga, but at least it's not that annoying because the psychics are gone instantly and then it's kind of like the semi T-Rex game, but he only has 14 health, so there's a bit more you can do. I don't know. Maybe as time goes on, he will actually go to stay away. The more I play against him, and the more frustrated I get. But for now, he'll be here. Now, this is an easy one. Ciri will go on my all-time favorites. Sure, she is insanely strong and probably overpowered. Let's be honest. But it's still really fun for me to play as or against her. Just playing around her source cards, what's still there, what she can do, what she can't do at the point in time. Sure, once she gets to like 5 stores already, it kind of feels like game over. But like it's how you actually make the turns before that count. And that's pretty fun for me. And as Siri, it's of course like knowing when to play which source cards early to actually get to the point where you can be at 5 and just start chilling or stepping back or whatever win con you want. And it's just cool. Like maybe Siri will drop one tier over time. If she stays to be this strong and at some point will the overpowered nature of her deck will shine through and it will become less fun to play as or against her, maybe. But I feel like she's at a point where there are actually enough fighters that can do a lot about her that I don't feel like she'll drop a lot. One that will definitely not drop is Leshen. Well, I just made the Leshen guide, so you know I absolutely adore Leshen. Leshen is just so fun. I love him. Um, he's cool. I'll just send you to the guide, Strategy Sunday, Volume 22, if you want more of my thoughts on Leshen, because I just made it, and I don't want to repeat myself too much. He's cool, Unga Bunga tree, fun, big values, and yeah, love it. Now, Yentris. Um, I think I'll put them in gladly play. Yentris are fine. Sure, you don't really have a choice of character because you almost always pick Yennefer, but Yennefer is fine overall. Sure, she can be a bit annoying with the amount of discards, but there's enough counterplay because she actually needs the opponent to discard a lot just to not die. And in the matchups where the opponent just draws too much or has effects that deal too much damage, yeah, she dies. And it's fine. Like she has that certain dynamic. Sure, the immediate boosting is still a bit meh, but if you play around it, it's fine. Like it's not that big of a war crime as people made it think at the start, just because there's not that many different options you can go for. Either she attacks with a 3 or the 7 basically, or portal I guess. That's kind of like the three only things you can think of. So it's not that insane. As like if she had a normal deck with I don't know one print four, three different print fours, whatever, a couple of print threes, print two, print one, and then one print five or whatever. So yeah, I feel like she's cool. Nothing like special, but also definitely not as annoying as people say. Philippa will probably go here and love them. She surely is a bit weak, but like Philippa games are always kind of like fun. She kind of feels like Genie again, where there are just so many decisions, but it's like the more fun version of Genie where you kind of like live in the moment a bit more, whereas Genie, you're planning for that one big thing you'll do. As Philippa, you just go with the flow and say, okay, do I discard now? Okay, do I discard now? Okay, do I just dump my whole hand now? It just feels a bit more fun. I don't know, because you at least also get like more rewards immediate. Whereas with Genie, you work your way and grind your way through the game until that one wishes turn. With Philippa, you always get that one tiny step closer with each thing you actually decide. So yeah, Philippa's cool. Like her. And now, Battle of Legends Volume 3. I mean, I already talked about them in my tier list a bit, but how much I actually like them? Blackbeard is. It's tricky. I think I haven't played him enough to put him in all-time favorites yet, but I'll definitely put him in love him. Um, Blackbeard is a really cool. Like playing around the doublons and when to play what card to deny the opponent doublons, or when you're playing against him for which card to pay doublons is really cool. Like I just really love the idea of this deck. Just having so many insanely strong effects that if you get some very key ones in a specific matchup, you can really get like the top, but your opponent can also, of course, deny them, and you just have to think of new ways to, I don't know, make them spend their doublons on effects that you actually don't want or whatever. It's just a fun interaction with the opponent the whole time, and I like it. Blackbeard is just cool. And now one that isn't cool is Trooper. Trooper for me is just Rex and even more stupid. I don't know. That's just even less dynamic to Trooper than to Rex because Yeah, with Rex, you basically just run away the whole time and maybe can counter pressure. With Chupa, you can't counter pressure. No, no, it's not possible. I don't know. Maybe I just have a slight Chupa trauma from playing against him too much in tests, but I don't know why we needed another of these run you down characters. Like, I don't know. Maybe my opinion would shift on him if he turns out to be a bit more complex than I give him credit for. But yeah, I don't know. Please stay away. Now, Loki. Loki will probably go in the sure, why not? Um, since people started to claim more that he might be a bit better than I gave him credit for, um, you might actually jump up a few tiers, maybe. Um, Playing as Loki definitely is interesting, and I like the idea behind it. Thinking about when to play which trick to give to the opponent and how to actually align that with your overall game plan is pretty fun. Playing against Loki, I feel like is a bit linear because you basically always do the same thing, instantly play tricks and then keep slapping. So yeah, if of course he turns out to be a bit stronger and there is some more depth to that, like to playing against him, then I can see him going up a few tiers. But for now, he'll stay here in the okay, he exists category. And now, lastly, Pandora. Ah, this one I don't care. I played her enough. This is the one where I said, okay, yeah, I love to gamble with my own cards. Where I absolutely despise Panther, where he steals my cards. If I gamble with my own cards and get rid of my own cards, that's cool. I don't know, like the box is just it's so fun. I love it. Just not giving a living and just opening it the whole time, which I think you should do. Like even if you have a misery as first, you just keep going. Um, it's cool. Like it's just fun, and when you actually get that perfect turn of having like five revealed miseries and then Zeus drawing five, moving the opponent next to you, double Hera as, I don't know, an 8 or a 9. Oh, it's juicy. And you can also kind of like Houdini swing any matchup in one turn with a big Hera, but it feels fair because you're not really messing with your opponent's cards. You just have to have luck with your own cards, and then your opponent can still be prepared for it. So it's cool. I love Pandora. And thus, this list would be concluded. Um, yeah, I think I'm quite happy with this. I don't think I have to change anything. Definitely tell me in the comments how your list would have been and what things you definitely disagree on or what things you absolutely agree on. Maybe there are some hot takes that I mentioned here that you actually share and you're like, oh damn, I'm not the only one in the universe that thinks Wukong is perfect because it seems to be a hot take. Um, or like if it's exactly the other way around, like no way he likes Wukong. Just go ahead, share it in a cool, friendly manner, and we can discuss it all day long and disagree all day long. And if you tell me you don't like Wukong, I'll definitely go ahead and try to play Wukong against you because I'm a very nice person. Well, yeah, that would be it for me. Um, I'll see you next week on Sunday for a strategy Sunday, and that's it. Until next time. Bye bye.